Hi, I'm Jeff Ludy, the owner of Houston Window Experts. We're here in our showroom today, and I want to introduce you to someone who's a very important part of our team. This is Jeremy Devereaux. Jeremy, a name like Devereaux, that sounds a little, what is that? Is that Cajun? Or
Cajun French or something like that.
Where were you born?
I was born here, born and raised in Houston, Texas.
Okay, and where do you live now?
I live out in Dayton.
Isn't that a long drive for you to come to work every day?
It's about 45 minutes to an hour outside of downtown.
How many miles do you think you drive a year? Have you ever looked?
A year, about 35,000 to 40 a year.
By the time you go to people's houses and back and that sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
So Jeremy, and I'm going to have him describe in just a minute kind of what he does in our company and how he comes out to your house and his role. But before, I wanted to just ask him a couple of questions about his experience in installing windows indoors. How long do you think you've been doing this now, Jeremy?
I started when I was 15 years old, and I'm 43.
43 today. This is 2020.
Right.
So, and how long have you been working for Houston Window Experts?
I think we started about 2012.
Okay, so we've worked together, you and I. In fact, it's kind of a funny story. The way I found Jeremy was I was kind of new in this business, and I had a very complicated job that we wanted to install, and we didn't know what to do. So I called the manufacturer. I said, I've never done one like this. And they said, let me give you the name of a guy. So Jeremy came out. He's like, oh, easy breezy. He did it for me, and I said, oh my gosh, I'd love for you to come work for me. So it took a little while, didn't it, for me to persuade you to leave what you were doing?
Right, it did.
Because he was working as a subcontractor. He was working for several window companies at the time.
Yeah, I had a good relationship with about 3 or 4 companies I was working with.
Right, so I figured, okay, this guy's so good, I'd like to not only have him working for me, I'd prefer he didn't work for the other guy as well. So Jeremy's been working with us full time. And Jeremy is actually we call him a project manager because he oversees all of the crews, he oversees all of the installers, and at the time of this filming, we actually have 3 crews for a total of about, what, 12 to 15 guys total?
We have 13 men installing every day.
13 men installing every day, 3 crews. And so, Jeremy, if we're so fortunate that someone were to buy windows from us, you'd be the next one coming out, and you'd be measuring the windows. Can you tell me a little bit about like how you do things and how maybe that's a little different than what other people do?
So when I come out, I meet with the homeowner. I look at the contract before I get there to see which product that they bought, because that matters on measuring. And I custom measure every opening. That's really important to me because there may be 5 windows that are technically the same size, but the opening is not because the brick guy got a little sloppy, or they trimmed it out different, or this one's stucco, this one's in hardy plank. It's different. So I measure every opening for a custom fit. That's important to me because it just gives them the best and the most glass as possible.
So a lot of window companies, I noticed, because I've worked for other window companies before I started my own, they'll basically say, okay, let's say there's 5 windows across the front of the house and they're 36 by 72. Well, you may measure one and it's 35 and a half. The next one might be 35 and a quarter. The third one might be 35 inches. You know, a lot of these guys, they'll just say, well, just make them all 35 inches. That way the installers don't have to figure out which one goes where. We'll just slap them in there, because wouldn't it be quicker and easier if the windows were undersized to just throw them in there anywhere?
It would, and they just trim them out.
Just trim it out. Yeah. So I tell people all the time, you bought windows from me, not caulking. Yes, there's caulking involved, but I want to give you as much glass, I want to give you as much frame and as little of caulking as we absolutely have to. That way you get the best fit. And the window brands that we sell, some of them will give us up to 64th inch increments. We don't ever need that, but 1/8 inch increments are important to have, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And some window companies won't do that. Some window companies stop at 1/4 inch increments or 1/2 inch increments. And so we want to make sure it's measured right and done right. One last thing I want to point out about Jeremy, he's so humble he won't brag on himself, but in our industry, just like you can be a master plumber or a master electrician in other industries, you can actually be a master window and door installer. We have a certification through AMA, the American Architectural Manufacturers Association, and they have certain guidelines and standards for you to be a master installer. Jeremy's not only a master installer, okay? Jeremy is actually approved to be the instructor for the state of Texas for master installers. So that's the role that we gave Jeremy to learn this stuff, to study it so that he could, in that, turn around and benefit the rest of our installers and the rest of our crew by sharing his knowledge with them. And many of them as well have been through the certification process and are considered master installers. Anything else you want to add, Jeremy?
I just love my job. You know, I love to see what a house looks like before we get there, and get to do really good products and hard work, and it pays off in the end for us just to get to see the change of the home and the people being so excited at just the looks. And then we don't always get to hear later, but I know they love the sound reduction and those things as well, and I take pride in that. It's fun to get that feedback when we do.
I said one last thing, but now actually I really mean it, one last thing. So Jeremy's also, outside of work, he's very involved with his church. Talk to us just a little bit about that, Jeremy.
So I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. A lot of people know us as the Mormons, but our church is very, very big on service to the community, and we just love to do that. I love my church. I love serving. I've been in many different roles. My last calling was bishop. I was just released. Bishop's usually a 5-year calling. I served for 5.5 years and just was released as that. Enjoyed it, love helping the people. You can really make a difference, and I love it, love my church.
Thank you, Jeremy. So when I leave town and have to travel, we have 2 pets, and Jeremy and his wife are so kind that we hire them to come over and stay at our house. So I trust them at my house for like a week at a time. You can trust Jeremy and the rest of our crew at your house. We're here to do a great job for you. We're here to make you happy. We're here to transform your house into everything you want it to be. Well, as far as windows and doors are concerned, right? Thanks for watching this video. If we can help you in some way, feel free to reach out to me or Jeremy. We're here to serve. Thank you.